Hey guys, it's Alisha B. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a side part closure wig tutorial. I've made plenty of closure wigs before, but I've never actually made a side part closure wig. So today will be my first time, as well as showing this video to you guys. So today I am using SUNKYST Beauty Bundles, a brand that I'm actually currently working with. I will tag her Instagram down below so you guys can check it out. So right now I'm just going to show you how I sew on the closure. Nothing too crazy. Just make sure when you do sew on the closure, you try to sew as close together so it's secure, and maybe go around it one more time to make sure the closure is secure. So I normally sew on a closure from the top going down, then the top going down the other half, because every time I start from the beginning, like from the beginning of the closure going all the way around one time, for some reason one side always shifts and one side is always like they're not even. So to prevent that, I start from the top and then sew one half of the closure and then go back to the top and then sew the other half. That's what you will see me do here. So as you can see, I'm coming to an end with this side of the closure that I'm sewing down. What you want to do is make sure that you extra secure this side of the closure as well as the next side, just so it doesn't lift. So what I'm doing here is putting the needle through, tying it around 3 times. After I do that, I just make one knot and then I make a second knot just for extra security. So off camera, I am going to do this side over one more time as well as the other side of the closure. So as you can see here, the whole closure is sewn down. What I did was I went over it one more time just for extra security, like I said. And now I'm going to start sewing the wefts in the back. So what I do is I basically take the T-pin, put it through the weft on where I'm going to start sewing and where I'm going to end sewing on that row, if that makes sense. So I just put it down just so it's easier for me to sew it down. As you can see, I just finished putting down the T-pins on where I needed to hold the weft down to start sewing, and I will just continue sewing in the same U shape all the way up to the top of the closure. So here I am securing the beginning of the weft. What you want to do is secure the beginning of the weft as well as the end of the weft so the track doesn't lift. So you can secure it probably like 2 or 3 times before you start actually sewing. So here you see me, I'm just going to be sewing the whole way so you can just continue watching me sew. It's going to be a repeated method, so I'll just stop talking. Also, the way that I sew underneath the weft through the mesh cap. You can sew over, but I like to sew underneath. I believe it's called the blanket method. Correct me if I'm wrong. But when you're securing the wefts, you don't want to just secure the beginning and the end. You do want to secure the middle as well, if that makes sense. You want to push the needle through the weft and make that a knot periodically here and there while you're sewing to make sure that all the tracks stay neatly in place. Also, I should have mentioned this in the beginning of sewing the weft down. What you want to do is you don't want to sew through the band when you get to that point, the beginning and the end of the weft. You don't want to sew on the band. You want to sew through the mesh, because if you sew through the band, then it's not going to stretch the way you need it to, and that's not going to be a good look. So you just want to always make sure that you're sewing through the mesh cap. So now we're getting to the end of this weft. What I do is the fold over method. I try not to cut my wefts too much because that causes shedding to the bundles and we don't want that. So what I'm about to do now is put the needle up and basically fold over this track. So what I do is I fold it over, I put a T-pin to secure it down. Just like I did the first track, I just put a T-pin throughout this whole track on where I'm about to sew at so it can stay. So what I'm about to do is make sure that this side of the weft is extra secured, because this is where you're folding it out, folding it over. So this is where it could be bumpy, this is where it could be flat. You want it to be flat. So you want to make sure you sew this part over a few times. Make sure the folded part is just extra flat, but you'll see what I'm talking about in a second.
That's 100 points. At Chamberlain, that's 100 points.
So I'm gonna go off camera sew until I get to like half of the head, and I'll come back and I'll show you guys. So here's half the head sewn down nice and neat. As you can see, I'm just gonna continue sewing now, and I am still gonna sew with double tracks, but once I get towards the top, that's when I'm gonna start doing it singly, the track singly. Don't mind me looking over. I'm watching a series called You. I'm pretty sure y'all heard of it, so don't mind me if I keep turning my head looking at my laptop. But yeah, so I'm just gonna keep sewing. I'm doubling up now, but I will change up to do single wefts in a minute. You can just watch. So here I am about to cut this double track to make it a single track, and I'll just sew the single tracks all the way up to the closure. Instead of cutting it after this one time, I am going to continue the fold it over method, so that's what you'll see in a second. So here's the wig completely finished. All the tracks sewn down, the closure sewn down, everything sewn down nice and neat. I'm just gonna take it off and show you guys the whole look. I love this curl. This is our deep wave. This is my favorite curl so far. I love body wave, but I love deep wave too. But this is the whole wig finished. I'm about to add some mousse in there, kind of lay down the closure with my with my hot comb, and then yeah. So this is the final look. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I have another video coming out for you guys, so just stay tuned.